What's going on, guys? I'm Tristan. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, well, welcome back. This is my wrecked Yamaha R1 that I'm rebuilding. On the last video, we started back the engine and that was pretty epic. Whoa. So the bike runs, but it doesn't ride yet. It doesn't have a chain, so of course it doesn't go really far. I bought a brand new chain and sprocket kit. I have brand new tires to put on, and I want to bleed my brakes because at the end of this video, I am riding that bike. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's working, what's not working, so I can keep going with the project. So I'm gonna start by putting the new tires on. Okay, so I gotta keep in mind that really my rear sprocket right now is very tight on my wheel. So even though the first thing I wanna do is to change my tire, I have to keep in mind that I'm gonna change my rear sprocket after that. It's always easier to loosen up the bolts of the rear sprocket when everything's on the bike by just using the brake. But right now, I have no brake. So I'm gonna bleed that rear brake right here to then loosen up the bolts on the rear sprocket, and then I'll remove the wheel and we'll be able to change the tire, put the new sprocket, and put everything back on. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so the rear brake is good. Now I can use it to loosen up the nuts on the rear sprocket. Okay, so that's the old tire. It's pretty flat right here, pretty bald, not much tread on it. So I have a brand new tire that I'm going to put on that wheel. I'm going to change my rear sprocket right here. That's all rusted. So I'm going to clean the entire thing when I'm doing that, and then we're going to be able to put that back on the bike. Okay, the tire's out. Now I'm gonna clean the wheel to prepare it for the new tire. Alright, it's clean now. Let's put the tire on it. Well, okay, I really tried, but I don't have the right tools. That tire here, a sport bike tire, is way too stiff for tire irons like this one, which is really good. I mean, I was able to take the tire out, but to put the new tire on the wheel, I'm not gonna do it. So I'm gonna go find a garage and ask for them to put the tires on the wheels. Let's go. Alright guys, and I have my wheels all ready, so I went to a shop. It's very easy in New York to find someone that does car tires, but for some reason finding someone that does motorcycle tires was very difficult. At 5 p.m. I finally found one. The guy was closing. He was nice enough to take my wheels in, change the tires. I was so rushed I completely forgot to film anything when he was doing it. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna balance the wheels. I need to put the front rotors on the front wheel, and I need to put the rear sprocket on the rear wheel. That way everything that's gonna spin is going to be on the wheel and is going to be ready to be balanced. Alright guys, so now she's on brand new tires. It feels really good. Now I can take care of the chain and I want to show you something. So here it is. That's the OEM front sprocket in 530, and that's the brand new front sprocket in 520 with the chain in 520. I'm doing the 520 conversion. I see them all over online and I really want to test it. I never tried before, so I want to see what it is. The difference and the point of putting a 520 on your bike is weight reduction, the holy grail of weight reduction, because we're talking about rotating mass. So the chain is going to be lighter compared to the OEM, and the sprockets front and rear are going to be lighter as well. So the difference between 520 and 530 is the width of the sprockets and the chain. The second digit here talks about the width of the inner roller on the chain. A 520 is 2/8 of an inch. So that gives a sprocket that's got that width right here. It's pretty thin. And then you compare to the 530 right here, which is the OEM, so don't pay attention to the shoulders right here, but pay attention to the teeth right here. You can definitely tell there is a big difference, which is 1/8 of an inch between the two. So this one is heavier than this one, and the entire system again is going to be lighter here. You can also tell that this one is completely symmetrical right here. The two shoulders, it's completely symmetrical. I could put it this way, I could put it this way on the engine, it doesn't matter. On this one though, there is a difference. We can tell that shoulder right here is a lot more pronounced than this one right here, which means I need to pay attention how I position it on the motor, and we're gonna go on the bike to determine which side goes on the outside and which side faces the engine, just so we make sure that the front sprocket and the rear sprocket are aligned. We don't want anything misaligned, we want something very efficient. Alright, so there is different methods to determine which side is facing the engine and which side is facing the nut on the countershaft. I'm just going to do one of them right now. I'm going to use that chain guard right here with the wall in the center, which is basically the center of the chain, it's guiding the chain, to be lined up with the teeth of my front sprocket. I have two choices. I could put that small shoulder up against the countershaft with the markings on the outside with the big shoulder, or the other way. So I'm just going to assume, okay, it was designed in a way that I see the references when the front sprocket is on the engine, so I know what kind of sprocket I have. So I'll do that with a small shoulder up against the countershaft. Do that. Here we go. And then it's all the way in on the countershaft. But we can see now that I have my teeth a lot more in the bike than this wall guiding my chain. It's not good. This is not going to work well. So take it out, and I'm gonna have that big shoulder, that's the second option, on the countershaft, which is gonna bring my sprocket on the outside, which is exactly what we're looking for right now. All right, so it's all the way in right now, and now it lines up. We can see those teeth right here line up with the wall on that chain guard right there. So now we're good. So just so you know, don't be misled, because sometimes you could think that the marking is supposed to be outside, but because of the design, in this case, we just have to invert things. Alright guys, we're looking pretty good now. We got new tires, new chain, new sprockets. The last major thing I want to do on the bike before I go ahead and ride it is to bleed my front brake system. You may remember on the last video I changed my brake line because it was damaged from the accident. So I got a good one on it now, but it's full of air. There is no brake fluid in it. It doesn't brake. I want to be able to stop safely, so I'm gonna go ahead and bleed it. The front brake is bled now. I also changed my reservoir right here that was broken from the accident, so I've got a new one here that was really bothering me, so that's good. I got a new battery right there because you may remember on the previous video I had a problem when I was trying to crank the engine. So to not have any problem and not need any assistance when I try to crank the engine over, I'm gonna put that new battery in the bike. Alright, so I think it's time for a first test ride. It's gonna be my first time riding a Yamaha R1. That works. Everything works. Alright, so you saw it. Everything works super fine. I'm very happy. I shifted through 4 speeds. I did first, second, third, fourth. Everything is super smooth. The entire bike feels amazing. So I'm very confident now to go on the fairings. I really think that's going to be on the next video. That's going to be a wrap for today. I'm so happy. Please don't judge me as being too reckless for going without a helmet in my street. It's super late here. I've been working on it for months. I finally have a bike that works. I want it to go down my street. So if you want to see me finishing that bike, making it all pretty, working on so many other projects, you should consider subscribing to the channel, activate your notifications, this way you know when I post a new video. If you like this video, well, like the video. I see you in the next one, and meantime, keep building. I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna break the tire or something. Forget it. Forget it. It's too tight. I can't. I'm gonna mess things up.